As I said in the previous movie, my preferred method of sending a file out to press is to create a high-resolution PDF and send it, because there can't be any messing about with this, or at least accidental messing about, and your file should be exactly as you intended. So we've looked at export to PDF before, but we'll do it again here, this time for commercial printing. We will have gone through, checked everything for errors. I have one here, and that's the resolution's too small in the cover photograph, but I'm just going to skip over it for the purposes of this movie. So we'll just go File, and we'll choose Export. We're going to choose Adobe PDF. Now notice there are two options here. This is new in InDesign CS5. We want the print option. That's important. We'll give it a name and we'll save it to the desktop again. We'll just call it Pepper's Menu Final. That'll be fine. We'll hit save and then we go into the presets. We'll choose one which is press quality. Again, this is something that you're going to want to work with your commercial printer. He may even send you a preset to use. But in the meantime, I'll choose a press quality. This is something that you can change yourself. As we've seen before, you can tell it to print all, view PDF after exporting, and because this is not an interactive document, we're not going to include any of the bookmarks or hyperlinks. Compression, this is an important thing. Here you can tell it to downsample your images. So if you've got images with too much resolution in it, it will downsample it for you. 300 ppi is probably appropriate. You can say for images above 450, well, why bother with that? Just put it at 300 ppi. Compression, you can choose it none, automatic, JPEG, or zip. Your file is going to be bigger using zip, but JPEG actually creates a smaller file. However, this is something you don't want to mess with here. Image quality, you want to keep it at maximum for press. You don't want to use any of these options for a press quality PDF because it will degenerate the image. So you set that for maximum. We don't have grayscale images here, so we don't have to worry about changing this. Notice that when I start changing it, it says press qualified modified. So we've modified the options here. We can put in the printer's marks. We want crop marks, and we don't need bleed marks or color bars because the printer's going to use his or her own color bar. And you can just turn some of these things off. You can set where the marks go, the weight of the stroke on the marks, but we'll just accept the defaults. Definitely want to use bleed settings here. This is important. We want the bleeds in here so it'll automatically make the page bigger and apply the bleed that you have put in this document. If you have a slug, which we looked at in a different movie, you could include it here, but we don't have this. Let's go to output. Here's an important part here, color conversion, no color conversion, convert to destination and preserve the numbers in the file. Here you can choose convert to whatever color option your printer wants you to do. Here's a pretty common one here now. Go to GRA call. I'll select that one. So when you have this, it'll automatically convert all those RGB images to CMYK, and it will conform to the policies of whatever you choose here. This is something, if you don't know, call your printer and say, how do you want this converted? What is the color destination? They will tell you, and you just plug that in. Otherwise, you could just use document CMYK if you don't know where it's going. That would work pretty well as well. So most of the other stuff, unless you're told by your printer, you're not going to really want to deal with. If you're using OPI in your workflow, you would choose that. And you would definitely want to maybe choose a password to open it. And here are some other advanced options which usually you don't have to worry too much about. If you're going to use this over and over again, you can save the preset, and I'll just call it VTC press. Like that, clicking OK. Changes the name now that I can just come in and select this preset every time. Just like I've created this other one, 150 ppi, that's for proofing purposes. I've now got a high resolution one. I can click on export. Now, one of the new things about InDesign, if we look up here, you saw it for a second, that it actually gives you back use of your document. You can go in and edit it while it's creating the PDF. There was just a little bar up there telling us that a background task was happening, and it disappears. And let's just go over to Acrobat here and controller command 0, just the same. Here we have our document here, we've got our page, we've got our crop marks here, registration marks here, and we're ready just to take that and send it off to our printer. And that's creating a PDF for press.